Back in January of 2022, I ended up in the hospital for reasons I don't know why. And they supposedly, um, well, they said that I was going through end stage liver failure, which I wasn't doing. But they ended up putting me into what they call the chemically induced coma. But I was
Ooh,
actually just heavily sedated,
uh,
and I was dealing with a bunch of doctors who didn't know what the fuck they were doing, or talking about, or and uh, and so for 7 weeks or so, um, I was being fed intravenously, and I was heavily seduced or being in the drug-induced coma, as they call it. And I found out later that the main drug that they had me on was fentanyl or fentanyl. Um, and during that period, I tripped like a motherfucker. Like for 7 weeks, I did not have any concept of reality whatsoever. Nothing at all. And I can sort of like separate what my hallucinatory dreams were and what my reality hallucinations were. Because like when
okay.
my family came to see me, because the doctor said I was going to die. Um, I remember seeing my family. I remember seeing my roommate come over and him telling me stuff and me being like cognitive of what he was telling me. Like he brought over my computer and shit, and uh, and they had me on that fentanyl cocktail. There's like fentanyl and rohypnol and something that starts with a P. Rohypnol is a date rape drug. Um, roofie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just this full on cocktail of just like, yeah, we're just going to leave you here on drugs until you die. But I didn't die. And so, yeah, well, ended up because during that time, for some reason, they had to intubate my throat. And they fucked up the intubation, tore my throat up. And they had to give me a tracheotomy. And when they gave me the tracheotomy, they cut my vocal cords. So I couldn't talk during
Wow.
this whole time either. I couldn't tell anybody that yeah I was fucked, and I tried to, and people were just like, my family, my friends and shit, were like, oh, I can't read lips. Can you read lips? I can't read lips because they fucked up my throat. They transferred me to Portland to a respiratory therapy clinic, and this was still during COVID, but it was at the tail end, and so there wasn't so many people in the respiratory clinic anymore, and they actually treated me decent, and it was doctors there that told me that they had me on fentanyl, and that I was lucky that they didn't overdose me because fentanyl stores up in your body, and that's what causes some people to overdose. Is that they keep taking it and it stores up in the body.
Oh,
Eventually,
really? You've already gotten
yeah.
there.
And they ended up working out my throat so that they could take the tracheotomy out. And so I didn't have the little fucking trachea. I tried doing the South Park thing with the one Vietnam vet guy who's got the hole in his throat and he sings Radiohead's "Creep." I tried doing that. I couldn't do it, but and so they let that heal up. But it was still like 2.5 months before I could have anything in my mouth. I couldn't have water. Didn't drink water for like 4 months. Uh, while I was at the place in Portland, they let me start eating ice. And so that was the point that I could actually have water in my mouth, but it could only be in the form of ice because they fucked up uh, the passages that separate your esophagus from your lungs. And so if I drank too much water, it'd go into my lungs. I'd get pneumonia and die. And so I couldn't drink any water for like 3 months, 4 months, something like that. And so I was in the respiratory therapy clinic for like 3 or 4 weeks, And then they're like, yeah, we're finished with you. We need to send you on someplace else. So they sent me to this fucking nursing home that pretended to be a rehab clinic, but it wasn't a rehab clinic. It was just a fucking shit ass ghetto nursing home. You know,
Where they send you to
Medicaid
die?
level. Yeah, that's most of the people in there were old people on Medicaid that were going to die. Hardly anybody left that
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
And they're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we can get them walking again, and we'll put them in an air bed, and no, they didn't do shit to get me
Oh no.
walking, and I ended up having to get
Oh
myself. But
no.
I ended up spending another 5 months in the nursing home. So I went to the hospital January 27th of 2022. I got out of the
2022.
hospital September 16th of 2022.
Gosh, that's horrible, Richard. We still don't know why you ended up there.
Nope, and I never will. I tried getting into the my records at the original hospital that I went to, the one here in town, and I got locked out of those.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I'll never really know what happened. I'm pretty sure it's just fucking shitty doctors.
What'd you go to the doctor for that night or that
Uh,
you went?
one of my home care attendants decided that I was being catatonic, and he called the paramedics, and the
Ambulance?
paramedics came over, and I obviously I was unresponsive because I don't remember them coming over. I don't remember anything from it. But they took me to the hospital, and that was that. I really honestly I did not know the slightest thing until about 2 weeks after I was at the respiratory clinic in Portland, because that's how long it took for the fentanyl to wear off. Because I was still having hallucinations during that period.
Shit.
And yeah, it's pretty heavy duty, and it's because of that 8 months that I was in the hospital. I was totally bedridden. That I'm in a wheelchair.
Uh-huh.